Today's story is the Moonlight Sonata. The story is about Ludwig van Beethoven. He was one of the greatest German composer. In fact, many people consider him the greatest composer that the world has ever known. The story has 4 characters. Mr. Beethoven. He is a young man, clean-shaved, penetrating brown eyes beneath a broad forehead and thick eyebrows, wearing a long-lined coat with a hat. Beethoven's friend. He is a tall man, white complexion, wearing a coat and a long boot. A young girl and her brother. In this play, Victor acts both as Beethoven and his friend. Rudra acts as young girl, Joy as young boy, as well as narrator. One moonlight evening in spring, a friend came to visit Beethoven. He said,
"Come, let us walk together in the moonlight."
Beethoven's friend questioned,
"What are you thinking?"
Then 2 friends comes and strolled through the streets of Vienna. While passing through a dark, narrow street, Beethoven suddenly paused in front of a small cottage and he said,
Hush! What sound is that? It is from my sonata in F. Listen, how well it is played.
The music went on. Almost at the end of the beautiful sonata, the music ceased and low sobs were heard instead. A girl's soft voice said,
"I cannot go any further. It is too beautiful. I don't have the power to play it as it should be played. Oh, how I wish I could go to one of the Beethoven concerts."
Her brother immediately replied, "Ah, my sister, why wish for something you cannot have? We can barely pay our rent, and you are expecting more than enough."
You are right, brother, and yet I wish for once in my life to hear some really good music.
Beethoven looked at his face and said,
Let us go in, friend. Come on, go in.
Beethoven's friend asked.
Why should we go in?
Beethoven with deep voice answered,
I will play for her. This girl has a soul of a musician. I will play for her and she will understand.
Then both friends entered the room. They saw a pale young man sitting by a table making shoes. Near him sat a young girl. She was leaning sorrowfully upon an old-fashioned harpsichord. Harpsichord, an old type of musical instrument similar to a piano but with strings that are pulled, not hit. Both the young man and the girl were startled and turned towards the door when the strangers entered the room. And with entry, Beethoven speaks up.
Excuse me. I heard the music and was tempted to enter. I am a musician.
The girl blushed and the young man appeared annoyed. But Beethoven speaks up again.
I also heard something of what you said. Shall I play for you? Shall I give you a concert?
Beethoven's manner was so friendly and his voice so kind that a smile took the place of the frown on the young man's face. And young man replied, "Thank you, but our harpsichord is of a very poor quality and we have no music." Beethoven exclaimed,
No music? How then the young lady play so?
Beethoven stopped suddenly, for the girl turned her face towards him, and for the first time he noticed that she was completely blind. And he shocked to see that, and with deep concern, Beethoven again said,
I beg your pardon, but I had not noticed before. Then you play by ear?
Yes, entirely.
And where do you hear music, since you attend no concerts?
I used to hear a lady practicing near us. During summer evenings, her windows were often open, and I walked to and fro outside to listen.
Beethoven said no more. He seated himself quietly before the harpsichord and began to play. Never before had Beethoven played as he played that night for the young girl who could not see. From the moment that his finger touched the keys, the very tone of instrument seemed to grow sweeter. The brother and the sister were silent with wonder. The young man laid aside his work and the girl sat perfectly still. She leaned forward a little so that she would not miss a single note of the sweet music. Suddenly the flame of the candle wavered, sank, flickered and went out. Beethoven paused. His friend rose quietly and threw open the shutters. Soft moonlight filled the room, so that it was almost as bright as before. The moonbeams fall brightest upon the harpsichord and the player. After the music stopped, the young man arose eagerly, yet timidly. He approached the musician and asked, "Wonderful, wonderful, who are you? Never listened such a pleasant music. Please tell us, who are you?" But the girl immediately understood that no one but the composer of the music could have played it so well. She exclaimed,
I know! You are Beethoven! You are Beethoven! Play to us, once more, please!
He again seated himself at the harpsichord. The moon shone brightly through the window. Looking up thoughtful at the sky and stars, he said,
I will compose a sonata to the moonlight.
Touching the keys lightly, he begins to play a sad and a lovely melody. The music filled the room as gently as the soft moonlight creeps over the dark earth. Then the time changed. The music became brighter and more rapid. No one seemed to see the moon gliding through the clouds. Instead, one thought of spirits and fairies dancing merrily together. Once again, the music changed. The notes were as rapid as before, but they seemed fraught with sadness. It was music that filled the heart with wonder. Now Beethoven stopped and said,
It's time to farewell. Farewell to you, lady.
Will you come again? Please reply.
Oh, lady, yes, I will come again and give you some lesson. Farewell. I will come again soon. Come on, friend. Let us hasten home. I must write out the sonata while the music is still in my mind.
When they reached home, Beethoven seated himself at once and began to write. He worked until daybreak. When he had finished, he had written the Moonlight Sonata.